see her level damage. Search. Oh, I can.
Man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Like, oh wait, this could be a lot of damage right here. Oh, never mind. I take it back. It's another quick. Wow.
Vortex kick.
Vortex kick. Art's
And
down.
killing that Bart.
Gotta be game.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that's game.
Alright, welcome back to Wbel Season 2. So this is week 8 for the blind division, and as usual, I'm with Chisei.
Hey there, Nimura.
Pretty tired. I just did a video with GB, and just before that I was doing a vocal recording for my album, so yeah, I don't have any ounce of voice left.
I'll take it easy this week. I'll do some of the shoutcasting then.
Thanks, I knew I could count on you. Alright, so right now we have myself with 8 points with a 7-0 record. I'm currently leading over Greatestness, who hasn't cashed in his extra points, so he's also at 7-0. And we'll settle the score between us this week, so we'll see what's the result at the end. After that, we got Ksaun, who is going to have 2 matches this week. So is Auronnj, because they're doing the match that Auronnj couldn't do last week. So we'll have 6 fights today. Alright, so Ksaun in 3rd place. Next we got Maechen also with 4 points, and then Sushi with 4 points. And finally, in the playoff portrait, we got yourself, Chisei, with 3 points. And right up below that, we got Maou with 3 points, and then Auronnj and Maughanman with 2 points. Unfortunately for EreshMelt, there's no playoff hopes for him anymore.
Yeah, and like you mentioned at the end of last week, technically Maou has the last playoff spot right now since I lost to him, and we are at a complete tie. But like I said, there's 2 weeks left, so it doesn't really matter. But technically at this point in time, if we were to cut things off right now, Maou would be the one who has the last playoff spot.
Alright, so let's jump into the first video. Alright, so first match we got Ksaun against Auronnj. So on Ksaun's side we got Auronnj, Golbez and Snow. On Auronnj's side we got 2P, Noctis finally. And now we know why he never bring that Tyrell before, because he didn't have time or the resources to bring into 140. So he got that Tyrell with only 99 level. I mean, I feel the guy, because if you want to like spend 6 Blossom on a unit, you don't want to use it on a Tyrell only for 1 tournament.
Yeah. Yep, I feel it. And you only need to be 99 to be able to have the sub VCs too, which is what's really important, because I'm pretty sure on Auronnj's side, he's going full Earth VCs here for the synergy between the 2P and the Noctis. So Tyrell's probably there, might be able to, he looks like he's off to the side, so might be able to be there as a bit of a tank. But if you look at Auronnj's units, 2 of them are positioned towards the center, and Snow is running actually to the left, which does tell me that I feel like that Tyrell probably does have hate. So bringing the units off to the left side a bit. Buff's getting online, so both the Golbez and the Auronnj hasted up, and I'm excited to see both the Auronnj against the Auronnj.
Yeah,
and
bow tie.
The bow tie, yep. Only moved 2 spaces, so that makes a lot of sense. So Tyrell, only needs to be 99 for the sub VC and for the bow tie. That's what he's there for. So if he can take an extra hit, man, then that's even better. But that's letting the Earth units get all of their buffs online. They are far away from the action over there, but that lets them, like I said, just get all their buffs online, so that by the time they enter the fight, they should be able to put on some serious damage. And there's the physical shield from Golbez, so that should help mitigate a little bit of the damage, maybe letting him get a hit or 2 in before dying, because Golbez is a little bit of a squishy unit despite trying to be a bit of a tank. So here comes the first hit from Tyrell. Not a lot, but that's to be expected.
So this one isn't the Ashen King version. Alright, so we got Golbez, so Meteor, so one-shotting that Tyrell, of course.
Yeah.
He was only there to carry the VCs. So we got the Fazzle Smash, so we got about 5k on Auronnj and about the same on that Golbez, but now we got additional damage on that Auronnj, so he's already nearly dead. Next we got Noctis. Does he have the range? Yes, but daunting spell on that Snow, so it's really not good for Auronnj. Next we got the LB. So we got the Snow on the Noctis and able to stun him, so it's going to be great for him. Next we got Golbez. Is he going to use a Meteor again? Yes, so on the Noctis, and very few damage. Alright, so now we got Auronnj, so another LB, and he's going to do it on that Noctis.
Ooh.
What I can see is that 2P had 8 down. Alright, so next we got 2P. Does she have the same level of damage that she had earlier? She's kind of slow because she didn't lap anyone. But yeah, of course, I remember that Ksaun used Ace on the 2 units, so it explained everything. So I think that she has a Arithmetician sub on because she's really thinking hard about doing nothing. Alright, very low damage on that snow, and we got the Golbez that's still hanging on with very few HP, and we got
Oh no!
oh, that's going to be big, but the so we gotta evade on that 2P, but Snow remove all the buffs anyway. So next we got Golbez, so probably doing another Meteor and another Reflex.
Oh my gosh! All in.
And not even able to kill Auronnj with the counter, so yes, another Meteor, and of course this lands. so 4k on that 2P, so next we get 2P.
Calculating all the possibilities right now.
Yes.
Because right now all Ksaun's units are kind of spread out in a triangle, so she's doing all the calculations in her head to see.
And double burst, not able to kill that Snow. Oh wow, and we got a heal back of 10k. It's really not looking good for Auronnj because Snow has a guaranteed hit, so Demon Purger, and I don't think that this one is a guaranteed hit. I just simply think that Snow had the accuracy. Alright, so next we got the 2P, but she only has 20 AP. She's going for a Nesper. Oh, it might be good though. It might be able to kill that Golbez. So let's see if he's going to die. Yes, so Golbez is dead and about 2k on that Snow. Next we got Auronnj, only 13 AP though. Basic attack and able to kill that 2P. Wow. Yeah, I think that Auronnj needed to win out, and unfortunately I think that Ksaun just put a nail to his coffin.
Yeah, because he was around the same. I think he's the same record as me right now, and I know that I was in the position where I basically needed to win out. It is a little unfortunate that's how the match ended up going. But like I said, I did like Auronnj's strategy, especially the Tyrell off to the side, giving 2P and Noctis time to buff. And by the time they engaged, Noctis was able to start off with the Taunting Blade, meaning that even though Tyrell is dead, Noctis was able to take over the role as tank, letting 2P just kind of be able to put out all of her damage. Because even though Noctis can put out some good damage on his own, we really wanted 2P to be the one that's able to put out the damage and not take all the hits. I think that strategy worked out really well for him, and like the reflexes also really helped out in his favor. It was just really unfortunate with the positioning on Ksaun's side that Snow was so far away from the other two carries that 2P was only able to really hit the Snow, and that Auronnj and Golbez were able to stay pretty safe for the most part up until the end there. Yeah, it was a good strategy coming out from Auronnj, but Ksaun's units were very durable, very bulky. Able to take a lot of hits from the 2P and the Noctis, and also able to deal out some good damage as well.
Yes, that Snow on the Ksaun side was obviously the star on this board. Otherwise, Golbez with his Meteor constant 4k damage, that was really very helpful for the cost. But I must give the key of the match to that Tyrell, because he can put up some damage, but he really haven't. And like, during the fight, Golbez was hanging on by a few HP, I think Auronnj too. So if at the beginning this Tyrell would have been like able to maybe land just 2k more HP, maybe that Noctis will still be alive, maybe that they would have been able to stack a little more damage on Snow, maybe not, but like we'll never know now.
Yeah, because I know by the time the Odin summon came out, the Golbez only had about 1,000 to 2,000 health. Yeah. So at least one turn earlier, he would have been able to go down if Tyrell was able to put out just a little bit more damage. But yeah, it once, like you said, we'll never know. It's kind of hard to say. That definitely could have been something that would have been improved on from Auronnj's side.
All right, so GG to both players, and congratulations to Ksaun.
Yep, GG to both players.
Alright, so next match we got Maechen against Maughanman. So on Maechen's side we got Zazan and Double Allet. On Maughanman's side we got Surgis, Noctis and Melnia. So Chisei, what can we expect?
All right. I mean, one thing that's really interesting looking at this is that these two units, I don't think Maughanman's brought this whole season, Noctis or Melnia. And in fact, I think these are probably the last two units he needs to bring to get that extra standings point. Looking over at Maechen side, he does have the wind element Howlet to be able to put a serious hurting on these earth units, but then Maughanman also has the Surges, so he has the elemental advantage against the Howlet. So if the Surges is able to get in and deal some solid damage to the wind Howlet, to be able to chunk him down or maybe even take him out, this could be a harder fight for Maechen. But I really think this wind Howlet and him surviving, oh, that could have been huge too. I was like, the wind Howlet surviving is going to be a huge key of whether Maechen wins this match or not. But I mean, Ice Howlet also can do some serious damage by itself. But speaking of damage, that Noctis.
And Melnia finishing the job of Noctis. Noctis art won't be stolen. Alright, so we got the first Howlet with his LB. I didn't see who he was with that. Okay, alright, so he cocked Noctis. Ooh, survived with how many HP? 1?
Barely.
I mean, he doesn't have... no, I wanted to know his HP.
Me too.
We have to calculate it at the end. Alright, so we got Surges, so only a few damage on that OG Howlet. So Melnia only doing about 3k on that Ice Howlet, so Ice Howlet going next. He has to put a lot of damage on that Surges, otherwise... oh, nearly one-shotting. Alright, so now the next Howlet is going to be able to clean house. Perfect, because otherwise it would have been difficult for this Howlet to go through Surges. So we got Castigation and about 3k in each Howlet. Unfortunately, I think it's in the bag for both Maechen. So we got a haste on the Ice Howlet, and next we got the Wind Howlet. That's going to put up a lot of damage on that Melnia. Yes, one-shotting her. Yep. Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I gave a little bit too much stock to the Wind Howlet, and because I knew Ice Howlet was gonna be able to put up a lot of work too, because Ice Howlet is such a great unit. But I was really thinking the Wind Howlet was gonna be able to do a lot of the heavy lifting, but it was really the Ice Howlet show. He did 10k on the first unit, 10k on the second unit, and then one unit and the Wind Howlet was just there to clean up basically. And then the very end, Ice Howlet just kind of step off to the side and be like, all right, you take this one, buddy. And then one-shot the Melnia for like 11k damage. Zazan getting out there early and taking out some early hits definitely helped out the Howlets to be able to get off some early, to get some additional buffs. And also the Maughanman's units funneled in kind of one by one so that the Howlets were able to kind of take in each unit individually, which helped them not get overwhelmed. So I think that the strategy from Maechen's side to get the Zazan out there to disrupt early worked out very well in his favor. And I think it just kind of so happened that, like I said, the units funneling in one by one also worked out very well in his favor. Because I think Maughanman's team was well built. It's just the damage was tanked very well by Maechen. And I think it's partially because of those early buffs kind of getting disrupted a bit.
Also, what I had is simply that on Maughanman's side, it wasn't the right matchup. On Maechen's side, there was a lot of AoE resistance, and also there was the elemental advantage from Howlet. So I just think that with his team, he didn't have the means to beat Maechen. Otherwise, I think that all day would have been a better challenge for Maechen.
Yeah, I agree. And I can understand bringing this team, because like I said, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think those were the last two units he needed for the standings point. So regardless, even though he lost, he still does get a point at the end of this match. If I'm not wrong. So it was good to try, especially because I don't know who his opponent is next week. So this might have been his best week to try out these units. But yeah, I agree with Nimro there that the units against Maechen was not the right matchup.
All right, so GG to both players, and congratulations to Maechen.
Yep, GG to both players.
Alright, so next match we got Maou against Sushi. On Mao's side we got Whisper, Lightning and Ravius. On Sushi's side we got Oldoa, Mish and Sebro. Let's check that out.
Yep, so coming in from Mao's side we see the full Knight team. And looking at the initial positioning right off the bat, we can see both of the tanks off to the left side and Lightning off to the right. So, okay, I was about to say, it really depends on how Sushi has her units stacked up, because this is also interesting because the tank is also off to their side, but she's being baited off to the left towards the other two mages because of the tanks. So the initial positioning on both sides is very interesting. I think Sushi probably wanted to see the tank running forward turn 1, as opposed to running sideways. So, and Mish getting baited out already to start doing that before any buffs. Don't know if that's
tanking.
what Sushi wanted to see, but yeah, that was a really good tanking.
So Relentless Assault, 10 more AP and agility up on that lightning. Next we got Oldoa, so Apex Defense, so Area Resist, a lot of things. Also Protect Shell going forward. Next we got Revius. Alright, only 2k on that Mish, so it's about the same as she received. Taunting spell coming from Whisper on that Mish. Oh, so Mish is going again before Severo, alright, even when aced. So we got Piraga. So about 3k on both. Next we got Severo. If he's able to chain, yes, so Wateraga. And 5k on Ish. Oh, so that was a lot of damage. And now we got the lightning baited by the Oldoa. It's going to be really big. Next we got Oldoa. I hope for Maou that she doesn't have the damage. No, alright, so next we got Revius and going for the Oldoa also. It's definitely not looking good for Maou. So next we got Mish, probably going to hit them all with his next attack. So Ferraga, yes, all 3 and killing the Whisper. Revius barely hanging on. And Revius hitting the skill from Oldoa, so still leaving. And now we got Severo nearly killing Revius. She's still hanging on with 1 HP. Next we got Lightning. So Life Siphon, not able to kill. I said nothing, so able to kill that niche at least. Severo still hanging on. Next we got Oldoa, probably able to kill Revius. Let's see if she is able to kill and killing both units.
Wow.
I must say that the key of the match was really initial positioning. I think that if Lightning was on the other side, it was Mao's game. The bait, I mean, it was really well played from Sushi's side, because I don't think that either of you foresaw this.
No, I completely agree. I think that initial positioning is also my key of the match. First, I thought it was looking bad for Sushi because, like I said, the tank running directly over to the mages looked really rough, especially with the way that she had her units positioned. It looked like she wanted the Oldoa to run straight forward and bait out the rest of the units. But like I said, with Lightning being so far off to the side as well, she was still able to get baited out by Oldoa before being able to attack the mages. And so the mages fighting just the tanks, they had enough damage output to be able to take out both the tanks. And before Lightning was really able to get there and start helping out. I thought it was gonna maybe turn a little bit for Maou at the end there when Mish ran to just go hug Oldoa. And she was able to take care of him that turn as well. But it was just a little too late. The damage was already done by the mages, and Oldoa, I mean, you can see in the top left of the screen right now, 17,000 health. You know, even if she was able to get a lot of her damage out early, that's a huge barrier to overcome. She's a very tanky unit with a huge health pool and some heal backs. So the mages definitely needed to be taken out early. You needed all 3 units to kind of focus on this Oldoa. So it was unfortunate for Maou that the tanks were taken out early on.
Yeah, extremely well played by Sushi. Honestly, it was an impressive initial positioning from her. Really well thinked. Alright, so GG to both players, and congratulations to Sushi.
Yep, GG to both players.
Alright, so next match we got Auronnj against EreshMelt. Of course, only one player sent me a video, and the other one, it didn't add the opening screen, so we'll have to do with what we have. On Auronnj's side, we got Bradley, Tancred, and Whisper. On EreshMelt's side, we got Rysel, Bonnie Resnick, and Mia. Let's check that out.
So starting off in the match, we have the full night team coming out from Auronnj with the Tancred, which I'd love to see. I think I'll probably opting out for the Noctis because of the what we see over on EreshMelt's side, the 2 wind units with Mia and Rysel. So maybe not wanting to hedge too far into Earth there. That or just wanting to bring Tancred, which I completely respect. And then this team coming out from EreshMelt, same team we saw last week. Unfortunately, bad matchup for this team last week, but I think that I think that this is a much better week for, especially for Rysal to shine, to be able to have the elemental advantage against this Bradley here. So we have Mia already kind of being in a striking range. So Bradley, with his massive range, that's like should be in range to be able to deal some damage.
That's still a lot of damage on that Mia because she can tank up a lot. Rysal only applying a buff and moving forward. Next we get Bunny Resnick. So is LB on Bradley? The guy uses 2 tanks and the LB lands on Brad and the disable.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, wow. So the fight is already over.
Don't count out my boy Thancred, alright? Thancred's gonna be able to put in some work here. So if he can hit.
Thancred applying a magical shield won't be very helpful. Mia slowpoke, so reducing the single target resist. So we got Bradley only moving forward because it's disabled. Next, he left and only moved forward in 1 move. All right, so this one. If it continues like this,
it's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Continues like this, we might have another turn. All right, we got the limit burst coming from Rysal on both tanks, so that's really good for Auronnj. Neutralizing edge, so Bunny Resnick are still going for the back line. A lot of damage though. Next we got Thancred, who is still leaving and killing the Mia. Not a lot of damage on that Rysal though. Next we got Whisper, please stay put, don't move. And this is what she does, and last turn of disable from Bradley. And he's going right away after the 2... Oh no, there was an AoE and Bradley's gone.
Oh man. Yeah, now it's pretty much over. And I was really hopeful at the end there when I saw that Bradley was staying right out of the range for me hitting the tank, but then the select 2. The select 2 comes for everyone. I'm actually a little surprised he didn't use it the first time around, but yeah, it's definitely finished off the Bradley there.
Thancred actually did some decent damage at the end and some nice tanking. That's really unfortunate because he bring like a tank and an off tank, and the way the initial buffing went, it was really hard because Bradley had to go forward first. So unfortunately on Auronnj's side, he only needed more prep, I think. Otherwise, it would have been much more difficult for EreshMelt to win this game, especially with the LB, which was the key of the match that landed on Bradley. If it wasn't the case, it was on like Whisper, it would have been a whole different match, unfortunately.
Absolutely agree. Definitely we saw the damage that the Bradley was able to deal to the Mia. Not sure how well built the Mia was to tank. Having the elemental disadvantage, even though Mia's just an R rarity unit, she's pretty good at soaking a few hits, like Numero said. So having the elemental disadvantage and still being able to that amount of damage, if he also had the accuracy, which unfortunately we didn't get to see against the Bunny Resnick and the Rysal because he was already disabled at that point, but if he had the accuracy, he definitely had the speed because we saw him move and then lap and then move again. So he had the speed. It's just the disable. Like I said, that it's hard not to give that key of the match because I definitely think that without that disable, it would have been a completely different game, a much more competitive game, especially if Bradley had the accuracy. Because I did see an attack or 2 miss coming out from Auronnj's side, so there definitely was some evasion going on there. But I'm not, once again, no idea if the Bradley would have been able to hit there. If he could, would have been interesting.
All right, so GG to both players and congratulations to EreshMelt.
Yep, GG to both players.
Alright, so next match we got Ksaun against you, Chisei. On Ksaun's side we got Barret, Snow and Prompto. On Chisei's side we got Greyford, Hope and Elshra. Let's see what was your train of thought.
Yeah, so getting into this match, I knew from the very beginning that there's no way I'm letting Ksaun leave this game without fighting against my Hope. So this might be the last match I get to fight against him if I don't make the playoffs. So I'm like, I'm bringing Hope regardless. I really wanted to make Hope shine, so that's why I paired him up with Elshra, so I could run a lot of the light magic VCs. And then Greyford was really good physical take. A lot of Ksaun's threats were physical. I wanted to kind of have him in front to be able to soak up a lot of the damage. So that's why I want to make sure he got his barrier off online and then pretty much run forward to try and take up some damage. One thing I was really afraid of though is the snow, because I was able to get almost complete nullify on stage resistances except for stun. So Elshra going in and doing the first blood, and Greyford following it up to be able to deal some good damage here, hopefully.
Oh shit! So, so a ton of damage on Snow, who hasn't used, I think, his heal back yet, and we got a reflex from Snow. Well, it could have been big, so he won't get stunned. Alright, so Greyford reflexing that Snow. Next we got Prompto, he's very far away, but still able to reach that Greyford, so he's not able to pierce his barrier, but he's able to dispel his buff. Next we got Snow, he's able to finish that Snow. We'll find out in a moment, so a crazy nice animation. Okay, so he really have very few HP, so it makes sense. So now Snow only has 1 HP. Next we got Barret, fire in the hole. Oh, it's destroying the barrier?
Yep, well, he just brute forced it. I think he had just enough damage to get through it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Next we got Prompto, maybe another Dispel Spread. No, Dark Parable. Oh, one-shotting that Elsh, right. Ooh. Next we got Greyford. Still a lot of HP, but Barret seems to be very healthy. And a sleep procs on that Barret. Oh, he's not going to one-shot your units so soon. Hope didn't add the reach, so he only applied a buff. I think that's actually good, because Barret was going next. We got Prompto, only 14 AP, so it's really not looking good for Ksaun right now. Next we got Hope, probably able to do a nice AoE, and also Greyford reduced the AoE on the... Oh no, I think it was only on Snow. And wow, one-shotting both units, and Barret only hanging on with 1 HP, but Greyford is next and killing that Barret. Yep. It was a really nice showcase of hope, my friend.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it worked out well for me, but I mean, obviously the key of the match for me, it was the reflex. It was massive on my side because, as I mentioned before, I think because I had the confusion over 75% for the Barret, so that one was taken care of. I had pretty much every single sass effect besides stun. I was only able to get stunned to like 25%, and my Griffin was 95 or 97 faith because of the Sleep Reaver. Oh. So if he did land that LB, I did the math earlier. I think it was around like a 60-something% chance to land. So it was in his favor that stun would have landed. And if that stun landed, I think it was a completely different game. I think the key of the match was that reflex. We did do a for fun match afterwards, and I didn't reflex, but the stun didn't land, and it came down to the last hit. Like, it was yes, it was literally like last hit for both sides. If the LB landed and the stun landed, it was his game for sure. So I think if we ran that match 10 times, he would win, 6 or 7 out of the 10 times. It was a very close match. The reflex was just lucky on my side. Sometimes if the only way I can win is RNG, I'm glad it's on my side sometimes. If the only way I can beat better players is RNG, I'll take it.
I guess that I'll give the key of the match on fluidity. I must really say that this Barret, the damage he had on him, man, he brute force the shield on your Greyford, and we didn't have to see it, but I would have liked to see another hit of Barret to see if it was only luck or anything, I don't know, on the Greyford.
Yeah, no, once again, I wish I had the match we did as for fun as like a bonus match, but yeah, the Grifford was putting out some serious damage. It was his Prompto and Grifford together were... I mean, you saw the Prompto one-shot the Elshra, which wasn't like surprising, but just the amount of damage he was still able to do on the Grifford and the Hope as well, without that reflex there, was pretty disgusting. So Ksaun's team was scary for sure.
I guess that's yours too, because we're not used to see a Hope cap damage on 2 units.
Yeah, once again, like I said, it's not too surprising. Neither of them are really known. Barret's known for his bulk, but not necessarily against magic. So, but I am glad. I'm glad that Hope was able to at least put in some work there.
All right, it's good for your playoffs hopes.
That's true. I really needed that win to even have a chance. I got lucky that Ksaun donated that one to me.
He didn't need it. All right.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be very tight until the end for everyone. All right, so GG to both players and congratulations to you.
Thank you. GG's.
Alright, so last match of the night, and a pretty spicy one because at this point we were both at 7-0. So we got Greatestness against myself. On Greatestness side we got Tyrell, Auronnj and A2. On my side we got Zazan, Shuzelt and Astrius. We both choked and used our best teams.
I was about to say, these are some powerhouse teams coming out, and also pretty relatively evenly matched, I would say, because you had double greatsword on both sides. You got neither of them have elemental advantage against the other. With the ice and the lightning. I mean, you do have the elemental advantage against the Tyrell, so that is a thing. But I would give A2 the edge in like being the better unit, but I also give Shetzel the edge on being the better unit over Auronnj. So I don't know. It's pretty evenly matched. But Zazan, he could be a huge key if he gets out there and disrupts some of the initial buffing. Of course, A2 being the fast unit she is able to get off her re-raise buff, so that one won't get disrupted, but maybe the rest of his buffs will be. Especially with that Heart of Flutter, that's definitely going to throw off. Yeah, he's going to be in range of everyone on this turn for sure.
Hate it.
Don't expect him to survive much though.
Pretty well tanked.
Only taking 5,000. That's pretty promising, honestly. But Auronnj gets to follow up on the chain with the element and the damage. And yeah, I mean, he still survived though, which is really impressive to survive a chain from A2 and Auronnj there. Really good odds for you being able to get off another buff on the Astrius, and more importantly, get off the Courage buff on the Shetzel. They both have most of their key buffs online, so when they engage, they should be good to go. The AP might be a bit of a trouble. Oh, completely ignoring the Zazan and going for the backline on the Shetzel.
I was really surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. But A2 cleaning up that job there, making sure that Zazan doesn't get anything cheeky there. Auronnj also, okay, no AP. I meant to see that. So I was supposed to. He just buffed and ran forward, but he was out of AP. Lightning Astrius taking out the Tyrell, kind of as expected there. Not doing a whole lot of damage to the Auronnj, which is actually really good to see from Greatestness side. And the fluidity. Oh my gosh, the reflex.
Yeah, reflex.
That's not great to see from your side there, especially if that landed a stop. That would have definitely been game, but A2 is going to have a chance to retaliate. So here comes the Limit Burst coming out from the Astrias and demolishing, not even needing the follow-up given from that Limit Burst to completely taking him out in the first blow there. So it's A2 versus 2. Almost A2 versus 1 there if it wasn't for that Courage buff. So he's lucky that he got that online. Pressure Hazard coming out, not landing the stop. So,
more than half of the damage.
More than half of the damage, though. Which is crazy. And the evade, oh my gosh. This could be bad, because she did a lot of damage, but she's low on AP. Removed the Courage, but he survived with a sliver of health. And, oh my gosh, she laps. She laps. Oh my goodness. That was wild. That was absolutely wild. Those reflexes were so on point for Greatestness side that I don't know, because there's not really much else I could really say. It was just like I mentioned in the beginning. It was a very evenly matched fight.
Was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like the two heavyweights of the division going at each other. It really showed. Like I said, it was very impressive from both sides, and it really, I mean, in my opinion, it was decided by those reflexes. Either one of those two reflexes, if neither of those landed, we saw Shetzel do half of her health and damage, so definitely would have been able to take out the other half there. So if she didn't evade the first one, then she would at least have had to proc her re-raise. And then at the last one, though, was the more crucial one, because if Astrius was able to kill her on the first attack, he might have been able to kill her re-raise with the follow-up, but she was able to get online with the Auronnj. The reflexes definitely were a huge saving grace for A2, but I mean, it's part of the game. Definitely no shade over to Greatestness side. The team he brought was very well prepared. Auronnj tanked very well, which I was actually pretty surprised to see in the beginning. But the A2, as always, is the star, being the powerhouse she is.
Yeah, the Auronnj is because Astrius didn't win for a barrier break at the beginning, so he still had his shield online. That's why he tanked it very well. For my fight against Greatestness, after the fight, of course, I was a little triggered. I congratulated him, and then I said to him, I felt like you cheated. Always depending, of course, on the follow-up on Astrius. Of course, since A2 is a machine, there's no man-eater that's going to be accounted. But on my side, I didn't stack up a man-eater because of that. I went pretty high on the attack nods, and like you saw Astrius pretty much killing everyone in one go. So we'll never know the end of this. Unfortunately, he had to reflex twice. From what we can see, Shuzot was able to two-shot A2. What it tells me is that he really tuned his team to be a full attack. no defense, and it paid off. I mean, she's so great to do those massive AoEs that do like 8k damage. Yeah, reflex is part of the game. It's 15%. But it happened twice. That's unfortunate because it didn't end up being a Realm 9 sort of tackle fight. But still, I'm happy for Greatestness. I think that it's our 4th match that we have in different leagues, and it's the first time that it's actually beating me. So with this win, is pretty much assured to finish first in the division. Nevertheless, I still have my shot to have my bye in the first round, so maybe I'll get my revenge in the playoffs.
Yep. All the luck that I had with my reflex was taken away from you that last match there.
Oh man, I did honestly the most rep of the entire season against the Greatestness, and A2 never reflexed once. But of course, she had to do it twice in this very battle. So that's how life works.
Yes, how it goes. It's good old RNG at work there.
All right, congratulations, Greatestness, and happy for you, man.
GG's and congrats to Greatestness.
I don't sound like it, but I'm happy for you. Alright, so this is it for the blind division. It's very late in the night for me, pretty tired, so I'm glad it's done. Alright, right now for the first time of the entire season, we got Greatestness that has the edge over me. He only has to use his extra point to finish first. We can already conclude that he's going to finish first overall for the blind division. After that, we got myself also with 8 points. After that, in third place, we have Ksaun with 6 points. And then we got Maechen and Sushi, both with 5 points for the 4th and 5th place. And then we got Chisei that's barely hanging on with 4 points in the 6th place. Next week, there's going to have a match between myself and Maou, and if Chisei loses and Maou wins, he's going to claim the 6th spot. So there's a lot in the balance for next week. Stay tuned because there's still some very interesting match that could happen. Also, there's going to be Greatestness against Chisei. Of course, Chisei, to clinch the playoff, he needs to have a win against Greatestness or bet on a loss on Maou, and Greatestness who has a perfect record. Otherwise, there's Auronnj with 3 points. Unfortunately for him, I don't think that he can clinch the playoffs anymore. I won't do the map tonight because I'm too tired, and I'll check this out after the next week.
We're doing kills over head-to-head, right?
Head-to-head first, and then if there's 3 or more, then it's kill.
Because that's one other thing too. Maughanman can also take the last playoff spot because he also beat me. So if he uses his last unit and wins, and I lose. So all 3 of those things I would say is use his last unit, win, and I lose. But he also technically has the chance at it too. Because I lost to both Maou and Maughanman. So I don't know. It's interesting for sure. But I beat EreshMelt and I beat Auronnj. So even if they both win, I would still have the edge over both of them.
All right. So a lot of math to do that we won't do at 2 a.m. So there's a lot of in the balance for a lot of players. I wish them all luck for next week. Thank you guys. It was really a nice week to shortcast for the blind division. There was some really nice matches and some really great display. Thank you again, and I hope that we're going to see you in the next video.
For sure. Hope to see you then.
Thanks for watching.